Welcome back to a special edition of Crossroads Cafe. I'm Sophia Reeves. The 23rd episode of our series focused on the theme of the family. Mr. Brashoff has been separated from his family for a long time. While the people who work for him at the cafe are like family to him, they're not his real family. His wife passed away several years ago, and he and his daughter had a falling out and have not spoken in some time. But then his Crossroads Cafe family plans a surprise birthday party for him. And while all this is going on, Mr. Brashoff finally decides to try and reconnect with his daughter. Those two events come together happily, and then a special surprise is added when his daughter brings Mr. Brashoff's granddaughter to the party. The reunion is complete, and Mr. Brashoff has his family back. The family theme of this episode not only made me appreciate the importance of my own family, but also got me thinking about the state of families all throughout Montgomery County. We all know that times are tight and budgets for everyone are stretched to the absolute limit. So I wondered what happens if a family suddenly finds himself in a serious financial situation, maybe because of job loss or sickness or some other serious issue. Where can a family turn for help in a time of crisis? I did some investigating to find out where a family in Montgomery County could go in a time of need, and here's what I found out.
This episode of Crossroads Cafe was all about the family, the importance of family, and the need people have to be with their family. But sometimes families and their children have serious problems with finances, employment, legal issues, and more. So if these problems crop up, there's a service area of the Montgomery County Health and Human Services Department that can help. It's Children, Youth, and Family Services, and I'm here with Kate Garvey, the chief of this vital county service area. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's start by talking about the overall mission and goal of Children, Youth, and Family Services.
Sure, our purpose is really focused on creating opportunities for youth to be successful, safe, and healthy, and for families to have an opportunity to have economic security. We're really focused on connecting with the strengths of the family, the strengths of the community, and building bridges toward people's success. We don't believe that people come only with faults or problems, but have a lot to offer themselves.
Looking at your website, I see your department offers a multitude of services to the Montgomery County residents. So if we could, I'd like to go through each of these with you so you can explain them and also talk about the services offered. Let's start with the Children and Adolescent Services. Could you explain those?
Definitely. This is an area where we're really focused on partnership, where we have nonprofit organizations that offer a lot of services, from mentoring to after-school programming to support for foster children. And so this is an area where we contract out with them for them to offer services in the community. Linked to that is our Linkages to Learning program, and this is a program that is in 28 schools across the county where there's an offering of mental health services, case management, and other basic needs supports. This is a premier program for us where we're really working with families who have significant needs right within the school system. So where people are, where they feel comfortable, and where we can offer them additional supports.
Now moving on to early childhood services. What programs do you offer in this area?
There are varied programs here because we're looking at different parts of the early childhood community. One piece is the Infants and Toddlers program, and that supports families where they have a child with a developmental delay. These are children between the ages of birth and 5 years old, and we work with Montgomery County Public Schools. We do home visiting, we do groups with parents to help them support their child's development. That's one key program. The other piece, another piece, is focusing on child care centers, family child care and center-based, where many of our children are all day, and we want to support them, support the providers there. So we offer training, guidance, parent support to select a high-quality program. It's a critically important piece of life that a lot of times we don't focus on, where parents have to work and they need to have a place that's safe and high quality for their children to be placed. We also do a lot of community education in early childhood to really focus on how important it is to really focus on this age group. We sometimes focus on high schoolers and others where our youngest children, if we invest adequately there, we're really going to see wonderful return on investment.
What about the Juvenile Justice Services? Could you talk with us about those?
Definitely. This is an area where we are partnering with the Department of Juvenile Services, with the Family Crimes Division in the police department, and service providers, where we are trying to intervene with youth. Our hope is that they may not have to go into the juvenile justice system, so we can divert them, get them treatment, particularly substance abuse treatment, and give them another pathway towards success. It's also when we have kids who have gone into the system, we try to work with them to reintegrate them appropriately so they're not making the same choices they made before, and get their families the support so they can really give their kids opportunities not to return into the system.
And the child care subsidy program, how does that work?
Again, this is a critical piece for parents who have to work and need their children to be in child care, and so it's an income eligibility program where we have state funding and also county program. We have the Purchase of Care program, which is the state, and the Working Parents Assistance program is a county funded program which does not exist in any other county in the state. And it is focused on providing an assistance for parents to pay for their child care. Unfortunately, the subsidy only does a portion of the payment, and so it's challenging. This is a big expense for parents. It's very close to the cost that they have for housing at this point, and sometimes it exceeds those expenses.
Your Child Welfare Services program, with a lot of different levels of service, appears to be one of the most extensive programs you offer. Would you please explain the services offered under this program? Sure, and this is an area that's critically important because this is where we have our most vulnerable children and parents who are struggling most significantly. So we have our foster care program where when it has been determined that parents or family members can no longer care for their children at this particular point, that they must be removed and placed into foster care. So we have foster care homes across the county where children are placed and where we work in partnership with the parents to address the needs that they've had so their children can be returned. So that's the foster care program. We also have an adoption program because there are certain times when a family cannot continue to act as a parent or guardian to their child, and that's when we're trying to find permanent loving homes for children. This is a critical piece for us where children need to know where they're going to be, that they're going to be loved, that that's going to be a permanent place for them. And so we're continually recruiting for loving families for children to come and to have a place where kids feel like they can identify with the family that they're connected with. We also do in-home services, and that's where families are having challenges, but with a little help from us, they can overcome the challenges and provide the support and love for their kids that they have. And that's a piece that is very important to invest in because our preference is for children to remain with their families. That's our number one. If it's possible, that's what we'd like to do. It's traumatic for children to be removed from their homes. It's something that most children don't ever get over. We try very hard to make everything as natural and comfortable as possible, but if we can avoid that ever happening, that is our preference. We also have a Kinship Unit that is working to have other family members care for the child. So if there's a grandmother or an aunt who says, I know that my daughter or my sister is unable to care for the child right now, but I'll do it until she can get herself back together, until she has the tools she needs to care for her child. So it's tough work, but it's a very important work. We also are always looking for good foster homes. We really want children to be in an environment that is very supportive and loving, and we know there are a lot of people in Montgomery County who have that ability to give. We just need more of them to come forward for us. So, how do you go about recruiting foster parents?
We do a lot of different things. We advertise in the paper, we go to churches, we hang things in grocery stores. We'll go to any group that asks us to come. We have also a community education staff person who's out going to the school system and other places to say this is something that's important for you to provide. So we really go wherever we can in the county to try to attract people and to talk about the program. We also have brought kids who've been in the foster care system and former foster parents to talk to people to say this is, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about foster care. So if people who've been through it can talk about it, and when we have kids saying, how important, how life-changing it was to have a loving adult care for them in that time of need. That's an important message that people need to receive, and we feel it's a key recruitment tool to building the network of support here in the county.
Until I looked at your website, I was completely unaware that Montgomery County had a Conservation Corps program. What is this program all about, and how does it work?
The Conservation Corps is a wonderful program that's actually in transition this year. It focuses on youth from the age of 18 to 24 who have not finished school, who have had some challenges either in terms of education or involvement in the criminal justice system or gang involvement, where they have the opportunity to get their GED, to get life skills, and to actually be trained in some wonderful skill areas, whether that's conservation or building, carpentry. And when you talk with youth who've gone through the program, the impact has been significant. They also get AmeriCorps funding so that if they want to go on to higher education or other levels of certification, they can do that with that funding. Where we are now with the program, the county has run that program for, I believe when did we have I think it was our 25th anniversary. But we are going to move on to have a nonprofit organization to run the program for the future, and we've put that out for proposal, and so organizations will have the opportunity to bid to provide that service for the rest of the time in the county.
You also offer employment services. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that is actually related to our TANF program, and we contract with an organization called Arbor that works with individuals and families who are receiving TANF funding, and that's temporary assistance to needy families, and are looking for employment. This, what we provide is training in life skills, actually pursuing, finding an appropriate job, something that people are interested in, something that they want to continue on, also resume writing, interview skills. So it's an important piece of someone taking the next step after receiving, or currently, while receiving assistance.
I see you also offer income support programs. Would you detail those for us?
Surely. And again, I guess I'm saying every program is so important, but this one is very important because this provides financial assistance to families when they're really facing challenges. And I'm not sure that many people in Montgomery County know how many people are receiving assistance in the county. So these programs are the food stamp program, the TANF program, Medicaid, and we also have some temporary disability assistance programs. And we've had a tremendous increase in the need for this program over the last 2 years. With the economic downturn, we have just seen 42% increase in applications across the county, and we see seniors, individuals and families needing these services. The staff have been stretched, and families are stretched, really trying to get what they need to be able to maintain themselves within the county.
Now that we've talked about all your wonderful services that your department offers, where can people come to take advantage of them? And where are the locations that these services are offered?
We have offices really all throughout the county. The 3 largest multi-service areas where the income supports programs are provided. We have one in Germantown. We have one in Rockville on Picard Drive. And then we have one in Silver Spring that's 8818 Georgia Avenue. For the child care subsidy program and the early childhood services and the juvenile justice services, those are also in Rockville on Calhoun Drive. We've got all the services there. Our child welfare services are throughout the county, and we really come out to see people, but we also have visitation house that's in Rockville where families come together to have visitation with their children. It's a long list. The website, I think, provides some good information on it. And we also have a single phone number here at the county where you can get specific information and where you can say, I'm looking for this service and I live in this area, and someone on the other end would be able to tell you this is the exact address. And that number actually is 311 for the county.
Let's talk about the staff of your department. There's no doubt this is a difficult and in some cases heartbreaking work they do. What motivates them and what type of people are they?
You know, it's an incredible group of people, and I think, you know, each person comes into this work with a different motivation, but the common thread that I see from our staff is a commitment to the well-being of other people and a real sense of responsibility about making sure that they do their job the best way possible. And so it is draining. It is hard. They, I think, hope for the best for families, and sometimes that's not what happens. And so it really is something where you have to support staff, have to keep them hopeful and believing that the next day things are going to be better. But it's a wonderful group and a highly qualified group. I've lately been reading negative things about government staff and government employees as being not motivated and not highly qualified. And I just see in Montgomery County that's just not the case. And we're fortunate to have the people we have in our workplace.
Without naming names, of course, are there any outstanding stories of success that you would like to share with us?
There's so many. I think, you know, in the area of income supports, you know, I think of the people who've done everything they could to make sure that a family got food stamps, you know, that day that they came in to apply, where they've got multiple kids and it's clear they have not eaten. I see in child welfare staff who've stayed with a child who's had a serious emotional disturbance, stayed with them in the hospital until, you know, overnight until, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning. In our positive youth development area, where we've had staff who've walked kids through trying to leave a gang. It's just in every area. In early childhood, families where they felt lost and felt so really damaged because their child was delayed. When they see the growth and development in their child, and also the growth and development of their own abilities to support their child, and they feel hopeful, they know that the next day is going to be a better day. So I can't pick one, but I just think it's every day there's something amazing happening. And I think the other piece for me too is recognizing how important our partnerships are with the families we serve and the organizations in the county too. So
I'm curious, how do people come to find your services? How do they come to your attention, and do they come directly to you?
Again, it's really varied. We have a lot of organizations that refer to our services. So the school system is a big referral agency. The police department can be, churches can be. When people start to know the services, they will make those referrals indirectly sometimes. But again, we try to advertise as much as possible. Families will, a big thing is word of mouth. When it's a service that somebody wants, a voluntary service, where people will say, this is excellent, and so they call us. And that I see that so frequently with the Infants and Toddlers program, with our Street Outreach Network, with many programs where it's people say, this is a great program and you should give this particular person a call. But we try also for our partners, the nonprofit partners who we work with too, we'll get referrals through them, and we make referrals to them also.
If someone watching needs your services and would like to begin taking advantage of them, what steps should they follow?
I think the best step is to make that phone call to 311 because it gives you any service, it connects you to any service that we have. So you'd get someone on the other end of the line and say, this is the need I have or the concern I have, and this is where I live, and they'll put you onto the right pathway. Then they'll connect you with the staff we have out in the field. So if it's a concern about a child welfare matter, you'd be directly connected to our child welfare staff, or needing food stamps, you'd be connected to that office that you'd be coming to for your appointment. So I think that's the best, the broadest step you can take, but it's the best step you can take too.
I know this is a difficult question, but if there was one thing you'd most like the citizens of Montgomery County to know and understand about children, youth, and family services, what would it be?
I think it's that, that we cannot be successful on our own, that the only way that we're able to achieve our goals is with our partnerships. And so linking with nonprofits, linking with the faith community, linking with parents and their children, that's why we can be successful. We cannot do it by ourselves. And so I think that's the most critical piece, that when we're successful, it's because we've had great connections with other partners.
My thanks to Kate Garvey, Chief of Children, Youth, and Family Services of Montgomery County, the service area for the county that promotes opportunities for children to grow up healthy, secure, and prepared to meet their adult responsibilities. If you or someone you know is in need of their assistance, you can reach them by calling 311 to access all of their services, or you can visit them on the web at www.montgomerycountymd.gov. Click on Departments, then click on Health and Human Services, and then Directory of Services.
Welcome back. We just got a lot of information from Kate Garvey about the extremely valuable services provided by the Office of Children, Youth, and Family Services. They're a service unit of Montgomery County's Health and Human Services Department. So let's go back over some of the important points she made so that you have the information you need. First of all, the overall mission and goal of the Office of Children, Youth, and Family Services is focused on creating opportunities for youth to make sure they are successful, safe, and healthy. In addition, they are also focused on providing families an opportunity to achieve economic security. And to achieve these goals, they are dedicated to connecting with the strengths of the family, the strengths of the community, and building bridges to people's success. To help begin building those bridges, the Office of Children, Youth, and Family Services offers a comprehensive list of incredibly important services. One of the most important is their Children and Adolescent Services program. Working with nonprofit organizations, they offer mentoring, after-school programs, and support for foster children. Part of this program is their Linkages to Learning program in 28 schools across the county. This program offers mental health services, case management, and basic needs support. Another program offered is their Early Childhood Services program. The first part of this is the Infants and Toddlers program. It supports families with children up to the age of 5 who have developmental delay. They work with schools, do in-home visits, and group sessions with parents as a part of this program. Another key part of the Children and Adolescent Services program focuses on child care centers, both home and center-based. They offer training, guidance, and parent support as a part of this vital program. And finally, they offer community education in early childhood. With this part of the program, they try and show parents, families, and others how important it is to focus on kids in this young age group. Kate Garvey's office also offers Juvenile Justice Services. In this program, they partner with the Department of Juvenile Services, with the Family Crimes Division, and with the Police Department. Their goal here is to try and intervene with youth to help them stay out of trouble, or if they get into trouble, to help them find treatment. They are looking for ways to provide a path to success for vulnerable juveniles. If a kid has already been in the juvenile justice system, they will work with them, help them learn how to make better decisions, and help their families provide support. The Office of Children, Youth, and Family Services also offers a child care subsidy program. If you have kids in child care, you know how incredibly expensive it can be. This program is sponsored by the state and county and is based on income eligibility. It is focused on providing parents a portion of what they pay for child care. Another critically important program they offer is the Child Welfare Services program. This is the program that helps the most vulnerable children and parents, those who are struggling. The first part of this is the foster care program, which they use when they determine parents can no longer support their children. They will place children in loving homes all across the county and work with parents to address important needs. The second part of this program is their adoption program. This is needed when parents cannot continue to act as a parent or guardian. They try and recruit loving families and find homes for children who are in this dire situation. Another part is in-home services. The staff will help families overcome serious challenges and provide for their kids. And finally, they have a Kinship Unit as a part of this program. They will work to have another family member, an aunt, a sister, someone else in the family to care for a child. The number one goal they have for Child Welfare Services is to keep kids with their family. That is what they strive for every day when they work on a case in this program. They also offer the unique Conservation Corps program that focuses on young people between the ages of 18 and 24 who have not yet graduated from high school and have challenges. It offers them a chance to get a GED, and they also train them in life skills and provide skills training in conservation, building, and carpentry. The office also offers employment services. They work with a nonprofit organization and focus on individuals and families who are looking for employment and who are also receiving TANF funding, Temporary Assistance to Needy Families. These are people who have fallen on hard times and need help immediately. This program provides training in life skills, help in finding meaningful jobs, resume writing, and interview skills. They also offer income support programs which provide financial assistance to families with serious challenges of all types. The Food Stamp Program, the TANF Program, Medicaid, and Temporary Disability Assistance are all offered as part of this program. One more very important thing I learned from Kate Garvey is that the staff of Children, Youth, and Family Services are a very dedicated and well-qualified group who are devoted to the jobs they do. She has seen many examples of how they will bend over backwards and work tirelessly to make sure people get the help they need and when they need it. Because of her staff, Kate Garvey sees amazing things happen every day in Montgomery County. Now, if you should find yourself in need of any of their services, there are a number of ways to get in touch with them. First of all, there are 3 large income support offices in the county. The Germantown Regional Services area at 240-777-3420. They're located at 12900 Middlebrook Road. The Rockville Regional Services area at 240-777-4600. They're located at 1301 Picard Drive. And the Silver Spring Regional Services area, 240-777-3100. They're located at 8818 Georgia Avenue. The easiest way to reach them is by calling 311 from anywhere in Montgomery County. This connects you to any and all of their services. You will speak to a real person. You can tell them what you need and where you live, and they will connect you with someone in the field who can help you. Just call 311 and they can and will help. Finally, you can also visit them on the web and scroll through all of their various services they offer. Visit www.montgomerycountymd.gov and click on Departments. Then click on Health and Human Services, and then click on Directory of Services. There you'll find a link for Child, Youth, and Family Services. Well, that's all the time we have for today's special edition of Crossroads Cafe. If you'd like to find out when this and other episodes of Crossroads Cafe air on Montgomery College Television, please call 240-567-7160 or visit www.montgomerycollege.edu/MCTV. I'm Sophia Reeves, and thanks for watching Crossroads Cafe.